Hey guys, Probable1701 here, and today we're going to do another video outside. It is too nice of a day not to. It feels so wonderful outside today, which is really weird because it's December. It's December and it feels like it's like 70 degrees outside. The sun's out. It's really weird. Bipolar weather. But here where I live, the actual summers are very muggy and sweaty and very uncomfortable. So this is kind of what I wish summer felt like here, and it just seemed too pretty a day not to do a video outside and spend a little time outside. So we're gonna be outside today. And today we're gonna talk about 5 10th Doctor stories that I think have a really strong rewatchability, at least for me. Stories that, while I haven't watched the 10th Doctor much in a while, that back when I was really into the 10th Doctor era, or back when which I was for a long time, honestly, stories that might not be necessarily top tier 10th Doctor, but stories that I love to go back and rewatch. Although one of them on the list I do think is also considered top tier in its own right. But just stories that I feel like don't get mentioned in conversation enough that I find myself going back and rewatching a lot. And the first one on the list is Tooth and Claw. I really like Tooth and Claw. I thought it was a really well done story. Other than the werewolf effects look a little dated, which is fine. I don't mind my Doctor Who having, a slightly dated look. I'm cool with that. I think Tennant and Rose are just great in this story. I don't find some stories their relationship can be a little bothersome, but I think they're fine in this one. I love that David Tennant gets to use his normal accent, his Scottish accent. I like the actress playing Victoria, who I know is a classic Doctor Who alum because she played in the Faceless Ones as well. So she's great as Queen Victoria here. Very regal, she has a very regal bearing, which I like. I enjoy just the story itself and how the one guy is kind of forced to help them. I love the setting of the house it's filmed in. It has a couple quibbles, like the room that they build to protect against the werewolf. I don't know why they would leave a big glass dome at the top of it. That seems like a huge, it's like having an exhaust port on your Death Star. Why would you do that, I don't know why they left that big weakness there. It kind of has to be there for plot. But I still think that's really neat. I love that Tennant's reaction when he first sees the thing is, "Oh, you are beautiful." I absolutely love that. And I love that the Doctor trying to help here is what inadvertently causes Torchwood to be created, which causes all of the problems in the finale later, the finale for the season with the Cybermen and the Daleks. It really is the Doctor inadvertently causing his own problems. And keep in mind, the Torchwood disaster is why the Cybermen and Daleks were able to come through. A lot of people died. It's another great example of unintended consequences of the Doctor trying to do the right thing, and the whole road to hell paved with good intentions thing. So I like it for that too. But Tennant and Billie Piper are they're fantastic in this story. I find it a fun story to go back and rewatch. Another one on here that I have spoken about before is Gridlock. I absolutely love Gridlock. I can never understand why anyone doesn't get into Gridlock. It's so much fun. I love that the guy from My Hero plays as Brannigan in it. I can recognize his voice anywhere. I love that Martha really gets some character development here. I love that she's kind of in control of the situation when she gets kidnapped. She's the one, no, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to... I really like Martha. I really like Martha as a companion in general, but I think she's really strong in this episode. Freema and David, again, put in a great performance here. I love all of the guest cast and the different cars. They're just fantastic. There's so many different personalities in this with them in the guest cars. I love that. The scene at the beginning when Martha wants to see his home world, and you see that look on Tennant's face of, nah, I don't want to go home. No fun for me. And we as the audience know he's lying to her, but that look on his face is so telling. I like when he makes the people close down shop, I'm going to be back here, and this is all better be closed. And when he gets back, they're all gone. Are you happy? Happy. There's just something about the 10th Doctor. You don't want to get on his bad side. It was nice to see the Macra. Again, I wasn't familiar with the Macra watching this for the first time because I had never seen or even heard of the Macroterra. But now that I have seen the animated version of Macroterra and love it so much, I love having the Macra. I love the nod to the Macra in this now, since this Gridlock did come out on the Macroterra's 40th anniversary. It's a nice little nod to them, which I like. And plus, they fit into the story well. And I love everything. The last, 15 minutes of this story are just phenomenal. The last bit with the Face of Bo is beautiful. I love the Face of Bo theme and the version of it that plays here. The conversation when the Face of Bo is dying and talking to the doctor. I love how well Tennant acts that scene. Because Martha, this is kind of where Martha learns that he's the last one and that his people are gone, is these last couple scenes. And I love that, I am the last of my kind just as you are the last of yours. And that's why we have to survive, Don't go. I love that whole bit. And, the Face of Bo is just, but I must. And then when he tells him that you are not alone, seeing that look on Tennant's face. And then I love the ending of the episode when the 10th Doctor and Martha talk. When she's like, no, she pulls up the chair and he's like, are you staying here? He goes, no, I'm not leaving until you talk to me. That whole bit when he talks about, I lied to you because I liked it. That whole bit when he talks about Gallifrey and this burnt orange sky and the leaves were silver, and when the sun would come up, the lights would glisten off of it. It's so wonderful, and you can hear that loss in his voice as he's remembering his home planet and his people and all of that. My race fought a race called the Daleks, for control, for whatever it was he says, and we lost. Everybody lost. And that bit when he talks about, it's all gone now. My friends, my family, even that sky. It's so beautiful. Tennant does that so well that you just ache with him. I think anyone who's ever lost something, someone who's lost parents, or someone who's lost a friend, or a really bad breakup or a divorce, that sense of loss, it just aches. You can kind of equate it with what he's going through right there. It's a really powerful moment and a really good story. Next on the list is the Shakespearean Code. I find this one a lot of fun. I actually really like it. I like the guy playing young Shakespeare on that. I love how perceptive he is and how he picks up on that the Doctor and Martha, how traveling through time and space, you're from the future, you're from another world. I love the fact that Shakespeare picks up on all that. And that line he tells him earlier in the episode, you who look so young but has eyes so old. I always love that line. I like the little bit with the witches. And I like how the one guy at the beginning in the opening stinger it's like they eat him. He's serenading her and they all turn into witches. I like when Doctor Who remembers that sometimes people just die horrible deaths. It happens. That's Doctor Who. Go watch the Horror of Fang Rock. You don't want to be one of the guest characters in Horror of Fang Rock. Am I right, Ham? Am I right? So it's nice to see that here. I think the makeup on the witches is done really well. I like when they confront the Doctor, like when she tries to use the Doctor's name against him and it doesn't faze him, whereas it does Martha because the Doctor, it's not his real name. And when she uses the name Rose and he's like, oh, you made a mistake. That's the name that makes me keep fighting. I enjoy all of that. Plus, I think the location work looks really good. I love Doctor Who is really good at doing historical settings. Classic Who and in Modern Who, I think they do a really good job with the past, and it looks really, really good here. I just really like going back and watching this one. It gets a little silly at the end, but it's a fun silly when everything's happening in the theater. And I love how the Queen shows up at the end and she's just like, the Doctor, my nemesis, and he's like, what? I absolutely love that. It's a great ending. Another one I want to talk about is Planet of the Dead. I like this one. This one is actually probably my favorite of the 2009 specials. Maybe End of Time, but I do like Planet of the Dead a lot. More so than most. I know most people seem to gravitate toward Waters of Mars a lot, which is my least favorite. I don't really care for Waters of Mars other than the last 10 minutes or so of it. Just not a big fan of it. Whereas I think Planet of the Dead is great. I love the camaraderie between the 10th Doctor and the Countess. Was it Michelle Ryan? Is that her name? I'm just gonna call her Ryan. I like her characters, Count D'Souza or whatever her name is. I really like the chemistry between them. They have a flirty nature that I like way more than, say, Rose and Ten. I like this kind of flirtatious nature. It's kind of the same flirtatious nature that Clara and Matt Smith have, the 11th Doctor have, which I like. I like that little bit of flirting in there. I enjoy the story where they're on a planet where these things, basically eat up all the stuff on the planet and then generate a hole and jump to another one, and that's just part of their natural life cycle. So there's nothing malicious in these creatures. That's just their life cycle. I like bringing Unit in because I always like to see Unit back. I like the captain or whatever her name is, Major, the woman who's leading the Unit team. I like her. I wish they'd bring her back more. I liked her. I like how when she salutes and he's like, "Did you just salute?" She's like, "No." I love that. And oh my God, Malcolm. I love Malcolm. I wish they'd bring Malcolm back. He's been kind of replaced by Osgood. And I like Osgood. I'm fine with more Osgood. But I really liked Malcolm. I just love the fact that he's a big Doctor fanboy. He's just a huge Doctor fanboy. He's kind of a surrogate for all of us, like big Doctor Who fans, like people who do Doctor Who videos every day. I just love him. And I like when he's trying to call the Doctor and the Doctor's busy and he's like, "I'll call you back." And Malcolm's like, "He hung up on me." But then later in the story, Malcolm does the same thing when the Doctor's talking to him and Malcolm's just like, "I'll call you back." He hung up on me. You named a unit of measurement after yourself? Well, it didn't do so bad for Mr. Watts now, did it? I love Malcolm. He's so much fun. I just love everything going on in this story. I just do. It's so much fun. Tennant is so much fun in it. I love the fact he can speak the language of the insects, and it's funny watching Tennant do it. You speak their language, every language. I love it. I would love to have seen more of the 10th Doctor with the Countess. I actually kind of hope, if they haven't already, Big Finish does some audios where maybe the 10th Doctor runs into her again before his regeneration and end of time. I really enjoyed their camaraderie, and I find Planet of the Dead massively underrated and a lot of fun. And then the last one on the list I want to talk about is one that I think usually is considered top tier, and that's The Girl in the Fireplace. I think all of the Moffat stories in Russell's era are considered really, really good, although I hear this one talked about less than I do, say, Blink and the Library two-parter or the Empty Child two-parter. But I love The Girl in the Fireplace. It could be the Tennant story I've rewatched the most. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely in competition for it. One, again, I love the chemistry between Tennant and the actress playing Madame de Pompadour. They get on well, and the characters get on well. And I like the fact that, again, they have this flirtatious nature. It's nice to see as a one-off the Doctor meeting someone that you could see the potential for a relationship to form there. And that wouldn't work for me for a lot of Doctors, but Tennant is a very human Doctor. So I could see him forming that kind of attachment with somebody. See, it doesn't work for me with Rose just because the way their relationship is. I find it cringy, as much as I hate using that word. But with the way him and Madame de Pompadour get on together, I like the chemistry between them. I could see the potential for them growing closer. And it's sad that she never got to travel with him just because of circumstances. I would have loved to have seen them travel together. And seeing how badly that hits Tennant when he doesn't really know her for very long, and how that's such a shock to him. Tennant plays that really well. I mean, he's such a good actor. But that hurt Doctor, that lost Doctor, that Doctor who's just had so much taken from him and that he's lost so much. When he first gets there and he gets that letter and he's just solemn. And I love that bit when he's in the TARDIS later. And they're like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "I'm always all right." And even Rose realizes he needs to be alone, so she pulls Mickey away to go look at the ship. She knows the Doctor needs to be to himself. He's hurting. That's really well done. I love just the idea of 17th century France on a spaceship. Get some perspective, Mickey. I love that. I think the clockwork creatures are a phenomenal design. I think they work really well in Deep Breath too. I love the fact that they're vastly different in Deep Breath while still being kind of, it's like a different evolution of the same concept, which I really like. It works. It's very effective in that story as well. But I love it here. I love the ticking sound they make, the sounds they make when they move. The tick, 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 tick. I absolutely love that. I love the fact that they're using people to repair parts of the ship simply because they were never programmed not to. You know, a computer is only smart as you make it. So it doesn't know that the crew's not on the menu. That's a really interesting thing. It's like we forgot to put a comma in something and now everything's going crazy. You know, that's really neat to me. And another thing I really love about The Girl in the Fireplace is the music in it. The Madame de Pompadour theme that plays about it. I have the series 1 and 2 soundtrack, and that could be my favorite piece of music for it. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to that piece of music. I really wish they would release all of the different versions of that theme that are in the episode. Like they could do an entire CD or digital download of just that episode, and I would buy it because I love all the different versions of that Madame de Pompadour music. It's a beautiful theme, while at times it can be a sad theme. It's just Murray Gold at the top of his game. I love that piece of music. It really is, I think, top tier Doctor Who, especially showing the human side of the Doctor, even though I know the Doctor's not human. Or is the Doctor half human? But it really does show that human side that works for Tennant's Doctor so well. It's such a fantastic story. So that has been 5 stories from the 10th Doctor era that I love to rewatch, most of which I would say aren't exactly top tier Doctor Who in a lot of people's opinions, but I happen to love and think they're a lot of fun to always go back and rewatch. I would like to know what you think, so comment down below on the stories I've mentioned and tell me the stories you would list in these parameters. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I am currently over 600 subscribers. We just crossed the 600 mark recently. Thank you to all of my subscribers. My goal is to hit 1,000, so if you watch my videos and haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate if you click that subscribe button and help me out. Help me grow the channel a bit. I also have a Patreon. If you like what I do and would like to contribute to what I do, especially importing all of the British Doctor Who stuff I import, that would really help out a lot. There is a link to my Patreon down in the description below. I want to give a special shout out to the 5th Doctor, who just joined my Patreon recently at the top tier level. I really appreciate that, and a special thank you to all of my other patrons as well. I appreciate every single one of you. It really means a lot knowing, one, that there are people out there who want to give me money just to listen to me talk about Doctor Who. That really makes my day. And 2, it's just nice anytime when I check it or I get like a notification on my email that someone new has joined, just to see that count go up one more is, I can't tell you how much it just makes my day. Same thing with the subscribers. When I see the subscribers cross a new threshold, it really makes my day. A couple things on my Patreon if you want to check out. There are 2 polls up currently. One is to vote for a classic Doctor Who episode you would like me to review. There's about 5 different stories to choose from, and there's also one for which 10th Doctor story you would like me to review. That one has about 5 options as well, including a rewatch of Midnight. Those will be patron exclusive reviews, so only my patrons will have access to those reviews if you're interested in them. Most importantly though, thank you for watching, and I hope you're also enjoying some nice weather.